Hey everyone, this is part two of Free Energy and Great Conspiracies. I needed to do a continuation, so if you're still with me from the previous one, thank you for coming back. So I was talking about a bigger agenda here and about like this communism and how like the silver spoons, basically, like I said, they own all the land, they control everything, they perpetuate these evil lies, and it's going into a deeper, almost like a I guess you could say like I talked about Tupac with and Andrew Breitbart and people that have spoken out against the silver spoons and how they kill them, and it really gets into like a deeper like kind of like I don't mean to just be like a joke, but like the whole Tupac like it was like an East versus West thing. But like that's really how it is with the economies. There's like an Eastern philosophy and a Western philosophy. Coined this term long root. Like it goes back to like we used to have an agrarian economy, and like it's like okay, it's like we need to have okay. This is the Western philosophy. Okay, and like okay, we need to have every cornfield planted, and we use it for ethanol, and have genetically modified, and all this and that. We need to buy a new car every 5 years. We need to every year we have to build more houses than we did the previous year, and it's all about the numbers to support the stock market. And like I've talked before about like if you think that S&P 500 companies really need or want your money for investment, you're kidding yourself. They have billions and billions of dollars on the books already. They can borrow money for like 0.02% interest rate. Why do they want to give you, a dividend and give you a yield off your money when they really don't need it? Like they have their product lines figured out for like the next 20, 40 years. Like they suppress stuff so deeply. And like I promise you, they don't need your money. It's part of a system that's in place. And like some people would argue that this system is a great thing. And like if you go with the system, you'll reap the benefits. I mean, like you'll say like okay, in time, you'll accrue decent wealth. But like when you understand the broader implications of this on our globe, on our world, and our ecosystems, it's very detrimental to the outcome of humanity, and it's not in line with like what God would want. Like I mean, people tend to think that we're above nature and that we're above God, and I promise you that we're not. And like God, like maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in time, God will always right this wrong. So that's the Western philosophy. Like I said, it's like we need to, and it like really relies a lot on alcohol too. Like people like they basically want you like going and keeping the carrot in front of the horse, and like every Friday night you come home, you have your 6 pack of beer, your case of beer, and it's like like you drink and it's like all your worries go down the drain, and then it's you get up Monday again and you start over again, and you keep going, and like don't get me started on the consumerism trap, but like when you understand like Buddhism and the Eastern philosophy, you understand it like it's like you break free from the chains that bind. You liberate your mind, from materialism and like individual um, achievement. Like it's more like a unpretentious aspect of life, and it's like once you break free and get like embrace this, it's so liberating. It's like you don't need to have the nicest clothes. You can go to a thrift shop, and like I said, the clothes are already broken in. You save a lot of money. They wash the harmful dyes off, and like look at like just like the holidays, like the Christmas. Like there's nowhere in the Bible where it mentions even the word Christmas one time. It's a pagan holiday. We don't even know if Jesus was really born on that day, but yet it's become like this massive consumerism um, instrument for, like I said, just perpetuating our capitalistic uh, society, and all these other little holidays that they have, and like basically, this is what it is. So it's like you go to okay, you're born to parent A B C D, whoever it is, whatever state, wherever you come from. You're vaccinated. You don't have a choice over that. In most cases, you're vaccinated. You're fed poison food. You go to a school where you're indoctrinated with a whole bunch of nonsense. Whatever they feel compelled to teach you and whatnot. Okay, then you get out of school, And it's like, okay, if you get, I guess, good grades, you go to college, and then or if you don't go to college, you get a job, and then you eventually realize that your job it doesn't pay enough money, so either you have to go back to college, or like, it's a joke. It's like really a joke. And then like you got your car payment, then you got the mortgage payment, and you get married, and then you have kids, and then like I said, you're a slave, and then eventually your kids go on to be slaves as well. And like that's what they want you to do, is have loans and student loans, and like I said, all this, the whole revolving credit system is a trap, a major trap. And like, okay, then we look up to these people that are doctors and lawyers, and like I've said before, like the lawyers in this country make doctors look like like they should belong in prison. Like the lawyers, don't get me started on them. But like I said, even to be a doctor or a lawyer, one of two things had to happen. I've said this before, so like forgive me if I sound repetitive, if you're one of my loyal listeners. But one, either your daddy paid a lot of money for you to go there, and you're going to conform to him and his country club friends' standards, and that's just what you do because you've been doing it your whole life. And you like I said, your dad wants, they want to talk about you at cocktail parties, and play this whole little game with their friends. And then number two, you took out hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt, and you're going to walk a very rigid line and conform to the system that's in place. And if you don't, you're going to default. Like I said, you're going to risk defaulting on these loans, and they're going to make your life a living hell. They'll call you every day, and there's only like three things that they can garnish your wages for: student loans, back taxes, and child support. To my knowledge, like those are the only three things that they can garnish your wages for, believe it or not. So like Eastern versus Western philosophy, I really believe that like the Eastern philosophy has like almost had to adapt to the Western philosophy in a sense. But supposedly in like Japan, there's like millions of empty houses. Like for one, the technotronic universe we live in, people are having less kids, and they're like really immersed in this whole technology crap. It's really becoming the downfall of humanity, in my opinion. That's one reason. Two, they're like really on this other just like I said, kick where they just the population growth rate is significantly down. And then like everybody was big on this whole kick with like moving out of the house and buying a house. Now a lot of people are staying at their parents' houses a lot longer. And okay, so enough on the economy. But another great conspiracy here with the elites is basically like life expectancy. Like the truth is that people live a lot longer than we think they do. Like in the Bible, it talked about people living like hundreds of years old. I'm not saying that people can live thousands, like it's very common. A lot of it's genetic, to be honest with you. And typically your mind will go before your body does. And it's like maybe, if your body was going to live and your mind wasn't, then like I guess everybody has to go at some point. But like it's really like when you really understand that everything is like the air is poison, the plastic water bottles I talked about in my very first presentation, like right off the bat, huge conspiracy. You can take a plastic water bottle, pour it on a piece of glass, let it dry, and you'll see like horrible oily residue. One of the biggest conspiracies of all time. Talked about Dr. Group. His father was getting ready. Dr. Edward Group, legendary holistic practitioner, has amazing nutraceuticals. His father worked for ExxonMobil. My father actually did too. He delivered gas in a truck, but his was like a chemist, and he was getting ready to release an article, like basically linking cancer to plastic products, and they killed him and took all of his work. And really, that's how deep this is with the oil industry, the petrochemical industry, and like it's in everything, like plastic products, just all this nonsense, and like even just stupid stuff like the Amazon boxes that you buy. Like why the hell did like they like something this small has to be in a box this big? Probably something to do with the oil industry, and like all these other products that have oil in them, as well as to like perpetuate this whole thing. So like I talked about plastic water bottles, the ELFs, electronic, extremely low frequencies, the low frequencies like basically cause cancer, very deep suppression there, and prescription drugs also very very bad. Like just look at the ingredients in them. Vaccines, the whole thing on that. Vaccines come from somebody else's lineage, or like that's what they call it, a lineage. Basically, somebody else's genetics gets into like satanic blood cult worship, like like they probably like elites are the like ones that they're taking the blood from or the DNA from to make these vaccines, and like you're taking their genetics, like, and it's like eventually they want to do with the COVID is like an identification, and it's going to be like some deeper stuff with like basically almost like biblical prophecy, mark of the beast, and like it's like they're like artificially stimulating these economies, and like this whole thing with the cryptocurrency, total mark of the beast. I've done psychic investigations on the cryptocurrencies, and it's like part of a European plan. Basically, is what it is. It's part of a European plan, and like eventually they want to have it where like all your medical records, everything, are like an RFDI in your left hand. They had this plan with like the Rand Corporation and others for many many years, and it's really deep now, to be honest with you, and if anybody ever tells you, like we should, like old people used to say, we should be thankful just to have what we have, and like I understand that philosophy, and I'm a very thankful person, but like, what does that say for people who have 7 houses, and like like huge houses, where like with like 2 or 3 people living in them, and they're heating them and cooling them, and whatever, and like people are saying, oh, the 10 Commandments tells us not to covet, we shouldn't covet thy neighbor's house, or the neighbor's property, or also their wife, whatever, and I do agree with that, but it's not a matter of like that. Like, I assure you, like, I'm not saying this because I'm envious. I'm saying it because it really is greed. I mean, it's seriously greed. I was down the Jersey Shore recently, and I went to Long Beach Island, and I went to Avalon, and like what I saw like made me sick to my stomach. I mean, like I haven't been there many years. The houses they must have knocked down were already big, beautiful houses, and they knocked them down to build even bigger ones. And there's like trillions of dollars of real estate there. I mean, and like these people, like most of these houses don't even have anybody living in them. Not even like it's like their second, third, fourth, fifth house, and it's like a statement type thing. And it's like, we're supposed to like be like, oh, we live in America, and we're very lucky to take advantage of such opportunity. These people have been screwing everybody else around the world over, and like I said, if you look at how they got it, it's part of a deeper like coup with other with like the military industrial complex, the globalist corporations, and like here's another big conspiracy, is that they want to do like what China has with a social credit score, like your phone is like through like Google, like everything's done through Google, Android or Apple, and like they have your number, they know who you are, everything, and like when you go to buy a train ticket, like they can like manipulate everything. When you go to buy any other kind of ticket or anything like that, like eventually like it's all gonna be through like a social credit score, where like they'll like depending on like what kind of stuff you search, do you smoke cigarettes, do you say, or do you cuss, how do you dress, and like they can manipulate the whole thing. So back to the 10 Commandments. I think that like in this day and age, there's like needs to be a different application to them. Like, I'm not, like I said, overriding Moses or like God's word, but like, thou shalt have no other gods before me, number one, for a reason. And like that's the big one with these elites, is like, okay, first off, let's just ask, what the fuck do these elites think that they are? Like, do they A, think that they're gods? Do they think that everybody, or B, do they think that everybody else is stupid? Do they think that they are like better than everybody else, or like that it's like their job to like I said, just to like to have everything like to their advantage, and to like keep everybody else suppressed? Are they just pure evil? You tell me. I don't know. Like I haven't figured it out. Like, but like I know that they're really big into this polytheistic aspect of worship, where like they believe in like multiple gods, and like God always condemns this. Always, always, always. And like the big thing is with the human cloning. So let me just get into this real quick. So like basically another great conspiracy, and like this, so like kind of like, okay, so first off, humans live longer than they say that they do. Second off, the bloodlines of prophecy are upon us, and the people that they make look bad are the good ones, and the people that they that think that they make look good are the bad ones. And like an example of this is Ahmadinejad from Iran. If you look at what he said in his UN speech several years ago, and like they made it look like he was Satan, and like all these people walked out in disgust. And he, like what he was saying, everything was 110% true. He was talking about 9/11 and how the U.S. was behind it. He was saying how like basically like there's modern day prophets that are being suppressed, and like it's the truth. And it's like I'm part of this with my bloodline and like and other things. And like they like I know for sure that this is going on. It's like part of like what the Da Vinci Code talks about, how like the Roman Catholic Church is on this pernicious effort to basically, try to thwart or like disrupt the bloodlines of divinity, specifically the ABRH negative bloodline of the Holy Grail. And I'm like the only person out there that really talks about this. Like you can search anything you want to know or anything you want to see, but stuff pertaining to the ABRH negative bloodline is like scant. There's like nothing. And it's like, why? Because they want to steal it and hoard it for themselves. Probably after I'm dead and everybody else is dead, they'll start coming out and saying, oh, we have this rare bloodline and this is us and we're the only ones that have it. And it gets into the whole thing about there should we know the gods before me. So like the truth is that these prophets exist. Like probably all around the world, angels, prophets. There's people that probably like manifest to be like numerous people that have like tried to become like the second coming of Christ, and like the CIA knows this, and like anybody who has this bloodline or even looks remotely like Christ, they'll come after you and kill you or follow you or poison your food or maybe, and first they'll steal your kids from you, and then like basically they'll try to worship these kids or like and that's what they do is like they know other gods before me. Like it's really serious what they've done with this whole thing. Like they'll eventually try to like clone these bloodlines and like I said like kill off the original people and like basically try to steal prophecy and control it. And so going down the line, okay, no other gods before me. Real big one with the elites. They drink a lot of like the wine drinking that they do gets into like the blood cult worship, like a big thing there. These like people in these rich towns, they have like wine bottles stuck up their asses. It's like a big thing to them. Like with everything going on now, like anything pre 2017 is probably going to be very valuable moving forward. Just my opinion. And thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. Like the Roman Catholic Church is huge on this. With the Virgin Mary, Jesus on the cross, crucified. I don't believe that. He rose from the cross. I don't think it's good. Other things as well. The difference between graven images and symbolism, and thou shalt not take the name of the Lord in vain. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy. Okay, like let's really debate it as if it's Saturday or if it's Sunday. And like with our world that we live in, it's so hard to like just keep yourself going. The Amish are amazing for this. They every Sunday, you don't ever see them working ever, buying or selling anything. But like it's very hard in the modern world we live in. And honor thy mother and thy father. I have an issue with this one. I say like if your mother and your father are part of an evil agenda, or like this communistic system, or like just this evil system in general, or these lies, then like maybe we shouldn't honor them. Maybe we should like use our own our own judgment and like do our own due diligence and push our own values. And I guess when you're younger it's different, but like I find this to be a major issue. Like I have a lot of issues with people like my father. He's like he wants to there's this system and you either go with it or you'll be thinned out. And like I said before, fuck this system straight up. Like our forefathers would say the same thing. Screw the Freemasons, screw their silver spoon kids. Like I'll take it to the grave, like straight up. Like I'm not gonna play the system. Like yes, I understand it. There's a lot of fake money that they printed out of thin air, and that it's to your advantage to go with it. And like as soon as you start to buck up against it and you start to talk about the stuff I do, like I said, you're asking for it. You're asking for major issues, and it's like very personal with me. And this is what drives me and my channel. And like you can see why I'm so deeply suppressed, and like I'm done. Like I said, I'm looking to get out of the country. And every country's controlled to a certain aspect, but not by the same people. Okay, so thou shalt not kill. Maybe in certain situations, it's necessary. I guess, I'm not going to get into that. I don't condemn, murder or anything like that or genocide. But, like maybe like certain times to protect yourself or, to protect the planet, it's necessary. And it's already happening. I mean, through eugenics programs, this has already been going on for years. And like, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Understandable there. You should always be upright and honorable, and not tell lies. And what you say is what you should stand for, something of substance. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Also, like thy neighbor's wife. But like I said before, like it's not a matter of coveting their house. It's a matter of just greed anymore. You know what I mean? It's seriously, it's greed. And I talked about like, okay, so like Ahmadinejad, and they demonize people like Iran, for instance. Okay, so like Iran wanted to, years ago, they had like like the CIA and British Petroleum basically instilled their own Shah in Iran. The original like form of government there wanted to like take all this oil money and make a huge middle class. They saw it as the oil money that belonged to everybody. It was in the ground. It was a natural resource. It didn't belong to just like one company. It didn't belong to just one small group of people. It belonged to everybody, like a communal fund. The CIA and the evil wasps and like Rothschilds, whoever else, knew that like if this type of egalitarian approach to an economy caught on in the world, that it would spread like wildfire, because everybody's consciousness would be raised and everybody would be happy and everybody would be living good. And they didn't want this. They wanted to control everyone. And like I said, like, so then in the 1970s, the Iranian Revolution happened, and they threw out the CIA, instilled Shah, and the British Petroleum won. And like ever since then, Iran has like had their own form of government, and like not completely controlled, at least, by the American CIA. Like they put their paws in all these other little countries around the world, and so very interesting there. And like I said, I talked about prophecy, and like the cloning and the eugenics programs are just sickening. I have talked about this innumerable times. My mother and I both had numerous children stolen from us, and it's really, really just disheartening. Like they like basically use them for sex clones. The United States Air Force, the Navy, NASA, other things as well. And they don't care about the men, the Russian Slavic men, the African American people have it better than the Russian Slavic men, and that's the truth. The white Russian Slavic men have, just like I said, the Freemasons and the WASP. Like if you have that type of last name, they would just kill you off. They would poison your food, and most of them, they'll try to make it look like they have Alzheimer's or they have mental illness. Yeah, they have mental illness. Every single one of them. Like these are like some of the smartest. They're like aliens. And they've done this to Chinese people. They've done this to all these other races, just so them and their evil, greedy white kids can like have all the resources. And like karma's gonna come back to bite them in the ass very soon, in my opinion. It's that their times are coming, and it's like the other, like the people that are there to, like the aliens, or the people that are there to put them in their place, aren't gonna have any problem offing them, because they did it to so many other people for so long. But like I said, I live in a very structured fake town. Like I said, like unfortunately, like my whole entire life has been a lie. Everybody that's ever really been into my life has been a plant. Anybody that wasn't, or at least 100% controlled, they basically killed off. I have a long list of friends this happened with, and I like to think that they're in a better place. I consider myself a libertarian and a constitutionalist. There's different forms of libertarianism, and I basically believe in very limited government. and like social liberalism and fiscal conservatism, and I think that's really the right answer. And like I'm very neutral and like able to like meet in the middle and everything, and like any like political figure that's ever came along to like basically cut through the bipartisan divide and conquer bullcrap, they would not ever like get off the ground. And I totally see the system for the evil and BS that it is. It's all to perpetuate this fake game. It goes on in Washington D.C. It's starting to change, but it's like all at the cost of our, I guess, like not only are the sanctity of the human race, but like the science. It's like it's an insult to science. It's an insult to just like I said, basically basic human intelligence. I have many unique and amazing abilities that I would love to be able to use for good purposes. And I've basically, with my psychic abilities, have found that like the elites and the CIA and the Catholic Church and other people are like behind almost all the evil in the world, whether it's like stealing of kids, murder, drugs, you name it. And it kind of creates this whole current and so forth. So yes, pretty much signing off for a while, folks. I said this before, and I'm going to try to keep to it this time. I brought to you many, many presentations on my channel. I'm very, very proud of the work that I've done, regardless if it ever gets the credit and the claim that it deserves. I've talked about stuff that nobody else even dares to touch with a 10-foot pole, and I hope you have enjoyed all this. Like I said, thank you sincerely to the few dedicated viewers that I do have all across the globe. I thank you, and I'm going to try to go to Armenia or Georgia. I actually a while back, I wanted to go to Israel. Things are a hot mess there. Maybe someday I'll get to Israel, see the Holy Land, and I just want to see the energy there. I imagine it's very amazing. I love to go to Russia. I have a girlfriend in Khabarovsk, Far East Russia. Can't go there right now with the whole visa thing. And China, I've been trying to go to China. Again, visa issues a mess there as well. So I'm looking to go to Armenia and to Georgia. In Armenia, there's Arat city, which is close to Arat Mountain in Turkey. That's supposedly where Noah's Ark landed. I want to push just a little, notion that I believe that Noah's Ark was possibly like a UFO, and I've heard this theory before, and not many people really talk about it in this sense, and like maybe it was actually a real boat, but I really believe there's like a deeper element of like UFOs, alien phenomenon, and like biblical prophecy, and it ties it all together, and there's like a small group of people that know this and choose to like basically keep this information hidden from humanity. And I have probably another whole hour-long presentation I could do on conspiracies. These are just some of them. The free energy is a huge one. Free energy goes on and on and on. Like I said, we leave on this note. Imagine like if the truth were to come out that we could have hydraulic-powered boats or cars that like had like 6 working parts, and you could basically do away with fossil fuels, and that we've been destroying our earth needlessly. So like I said, so basically they keep you having to pay money at the pump all the time. Like I said, the gas pump works off of hydraulics. So look at the irony there. Hopefully someday I'll be able to pursue my ideas. And like I said, all you really need is copper and a magnetic field, and you can create current. And like I said, it's not really that hard. But anyways, take care, folks. Talk to you later.